I was there at the first day of the mass protest. I think on that day, the most important thing that I can remember was that the people were so ready for everything.
It's the 16th of September 2022, and Iranian photojournalist Yalda Moaiery is out on the streets of the Iranian capital, Tehran, capturing images that are about to go around the world.
I can remember I saw a girl that she was talking on the phone with her mother. She told her that we are like the other people. We can get killed. We are not different. And I didn't know her, but I hugged her and we started to cry.
Oh. Days before, Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old girl from Kurdistan, had been arrested by Iran's morality police, accused of not wearing her headscarf properly. Shortly after that, news emerged that Mahsa had died in police custody. Though the authorities have always denied it, eyewitnesses say she was severely beaten by prison officers, later dying of the injuries she sustained. It was a pivotal moment for hundreds of thousands of people in Iran who took to the streets chanting, "Women, life, freedom."
It was a feeling that, I don't know how can I explain it, but we didn't really think about our life or, what is going on. We were very tired from everything. And that was the main point. I saw and I felt in the population that everybody is very ready for everything's gonna happen.
I'm Nicola Kelly, and this is Silenced. Nearly 2 years on from the protests that swept across the globe, how much has changed for women in Iran and for those who expose the truth about what's really going on there? When the first wave of protesters gathered that autumn day, Yalda immediately went out to document what was unfolding. She began taking pictures on her phone of women standing on cars, burning their headscarves, dancing, free, and seemingly unafraid of what might come. The protests were described as like nothing the country had ever seen before, the most widespread movement since the revolution in 1979. For the Iranian government, it posed a significant challenge to their authority.
The police officers blocked the street so the population couldn't get together in one place. But we just moved from this side to that side. We started to run and the police started to shoot the tear gas. And after sunset, they started to arrest all the people one by one and put them in a van and, take them to the police stations.
And was there any fear? Like, did you feel scared about something happening to you?
Of course, I'm really scared. I'm always scaring. I'm a normal people. I'm a human being,
Yalda has travelled all over the world. She's a war photographer by background, and she's been detained numerous times, both in Iran and outside. But seeing these protests, she felt an unsettling sense of foreboding. The Iranian authorities are known for their brutality. After all, just days before, a woman had died while in police custody.
I have been arrested many times in Iran, I think 10 times. I knew how they will treat me or the other people. But, I think I was a very lucky person because they didn't beat me so hard or anything. And when I was sitting in the van and we get there to the police station and the doors open because the van was very dark and nobody could see each other, I just turned and looked at one of the girls and I saw that she was completely bloody and they broke her nose And, her face was completely covered by blood, and she wasn't the only person. All the women there, they were completely, bloody, or something happened to them. They broke their legs, their hands, and
Oh, God.
yeah, we were like the people that were completely injured, and we were ready to get to the hospital, and they got many people to the hospital at the first hours, but they turned them back and sent them to prison with us.
And did the scale of this protest, did it surprise you, or was it something that you've seen in the past?
No, it wasn't really surprised me, because 14, 15 years ago, we had a mass protest in the street. It was like 3 million, 4 million people. But it had some difference that on that time, maybe people were so peaceful, or they were so calm and tried to just say some chants or something. But this time it was completely different, because the people were not the same people at all. They were very angry, and a lot of young people, like the Z generation, were among them. I'm 43 years old, but these guys were very young, like 16, 17, and they were very brave. I mean, they were not conservative like my generation.
Was it mainly women who were being beaten and arrested, or were there men among the group too?
No, 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 no. Women and men both. But, the violence was more about the women, actually. And, some sexual assaults happened for them. They wanted to do that because they had this meaning in their mind that if you want to be without a scarf, you want to be naked. So if you want to be naked, you are a prostitute and you have to get raped or something. And this was their ideology. And it wasn't like they suddenly wanted to have some sexual relation with someone. No, it wasn't like that. It was a code for them that if you want to go without a scarf, if you want to be free, you are a prostitute. And they did it with everyone they saw. Even me, it happened for me also. So they did it with everyone.
Wow. Once Yalda arrived at the police station, the authorities began to take pictures of her, writing down her name, date of birth, identity number. Not long after that, she was informed that she would be taken to the infamous Qarchak women's prison, known for its brutal treatment of inmates.
I've been in Qarchak before for taking pictures. I knew that this prison is not a very big prison, but when we got there, they didn't have any place for us, any cell house for us, because all of the prison was completely full of prisoners. But they took us to somewhere like a sport complex there, and we were going to sleep on the ground. And that time was summer, and the summers on that area are very, very hard. There wasn't any air condition or anything. At first we were 22%, but every day we got more and more, like every day we had some like 20, 25 people just added to us.
Within a week, the whole complex was completely full of prisoners. The conditions were unsanitary, with only a few bathrooms for all the detainees. Soon, Yalda saw that the situation was deeply affecting some of the younger girls being held at the facility.
The young girls started hurting themselves, cutting themselves, and these kind of things. Everything was terrible. And I can remember that I saw a girl that pushed her face into the telephone station, and I could see that blood covered everywhere, pushed to the walls and everything. And all of these things happened because the condition was terrible.
Not long after that, Yalda was moved to the notorious Evin prison, nicknamed the End of the World, where she was put into solitary confinement. She was forced to stay there, isolated from the other prisoners, with no human contact for a month.
It was a hell, I've always told that, being in public prison, it's not too hard for me, but solitary is something else. I was very sick on that time. Sometimes I thought that, it's better to kill myself. Very, very tough situation. Nobody were talking to you. You have to, close your eyes, your hands, your everything when you wanted to go to the interrogators. It was completely like hell. It was like the name. It was really the end of the world.
After around 90 days, Yalda was released on bail, but the authorities were still after her. Some of her images had become well known. One, taken in 2017, gained her particular notoriety. It shows a young woman protesting at Tehran University, standing in the dust, raising her fist in defiance.
And this photo became very popular and very famous in Iran because it became the symbol of the protest, and people used it anywhere when they want to, use some photo as the symbol of protest or resistance. My pictures always were important for the people, and I'm very happy about it.
But soon that image was to become even more renowned.
President Donald Trump, he tweeted something for the anniversary of the Islamic Republic, and he used that photo. And from the first day that he used it, everything suddenly changed about my life.
For Yalda, it was difficult to see Trump using her image to further his own agenda. He'd imposed a travel ban against Iranians, which had had an enormous impact on her and those she loved. But the repercussions for her were even more far-reaching. That one tweet got her sentenced to 2 years in prison.
I was under interrogations for 1 year, and they told me very clearly that you cannot work in this country anymore. You can live here as a normal person. You can go to the grocery or, going to the parties, but you cannot take any pictures in this country anymore. And they always told me, you are an international photographer. You can go to the other countries and work. Why you want to stay here? And my parents were living in United States for like 12 years. And they always asked me, why you are staying here? What do you want here? You don't have anyone. You don't have anything to do here. You cannot take pictures. You have to leave the country.
Eventually, she decided to heed the regime's warnings.
When I bought my ticket till the day that I leave the country, it took like 10 days. But, they were always calling me for everything because they knew it. I have bought it with my social security number, and they knew that, I wanted to go to Turkey or anywhere. But nobody called me. Nobody asked me any question in the airport, nothing. And it means that they love us to leave the country, unfortunately. And this is the reason that I really want to go back to Iran, because I don't want to do anything that they love to. I think it's the most important challenge that I have with myself these days, that, I'm thinking to going back or not.
The Mahsa Amini protests went on for months, and not only in Iran but all over the world. They had sparked something deeper, starting a conversation about women's rights and freedoms, about how they express themselves, the clothes they wear, the things they do. And a part of that discussion was about the hijab, which women had removed and burnt in public.
I have to tell you that there's a difference between the point of view of the Z generation to, hijab and, these kind of things, to my generation. I was born at the first years of the Islamic Revolution, and, I have born with a scarf on my head. So, I used to it. I didn't have any problem with it. When I'm going out without the scarf, it's something like, okay, there's something missing with me. But for Z generation, it's completely different. They can be completely free. But it was like a cause for the people.
For Yalda, after she got out of jail, she refused to wear the headscarf.
Personality, I'm not a activist person. I'm photojournalist, actually. But, the day that they arrested me, I had a scarf, actually. But because, I thought that, okay, I'm a photojournalist, I have to do my job. But that job was much more important for them than the scarf. But when I get out of the prison, I didn't wear the scarf anymore. I did it because of the people who died. I thought that it's something that I have to do for them. They died because of this scarf. So I shouldn't wear it anymore.
Yalda thinks it's just a matter of time before another round of protests happen. Now the question is whether she returns to Iran to be there to document what unfolds.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. And yeah, all of these things gonna happen. And for sure, when people is gonna protest again, it's not clear when, but they're gonna start it again for sure. But the problem is the security forces are very ready this time, They change their weapons to the better ones, they have more professional guns, and everything's get worse day by day.
And there's nothing in you that says maybe breaking this cycle of, protest, I go out, I'm arrested, released, and I go back and do the same thing again. And it's this awful cycle that you're kind of trapped in, and that many other journalists must be trapped in. You never think to break free of that and just stay in the US. Your parents are there. Stay safe.
Oh, you shouldn't ask me this question. I'm starting to cry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, these are the issues that I'm really thinking about these days. One of my interrogators told me that we're gonna, keep you in jail 10 years, and then you are going out, you are 50 years old, and you are old. And the other side, that country is my country, and, that issues are my issues. Right now, I'm living here and I can take pictures of stories and everything, but these are not my issues. When I'm taking picture of my issues or my problems, it's much more believable because this is something coming from my heart.
In July 2024, elections took place in Iran. The reformist candidate Masoud Pezeshkian won the second round with 55% of the vote. But Yalda doesn't hold out hope that much will change.
Till this regime exists, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing positive's gonna happen. People are injured. Parents are mourning for their children still. And a lot of people are dead. The society will recover themselves and they're gonna start again. But nothing positive is gonna happen till this regime exists.
You've been listening to Silenced. I'm Nicola Kelly. The producer was Kevin Caners. This is a podcast series for Article 19.